This is where our story takes a sharp left turn into territory that even the most imaginative horror writers might find a bit extreme. But here's where Joe's story takes its first peculiar twist. Despite his troubled youth, he managed to land a job as a forklift operator at a pallet company. For a brief, shining moment, it seemed like Joe Metheny might actually turn his life around. He even found love, or at least his version of it, with a woman who bore him a son. Unfortunately, domestic bliss wasn't exactly Joe's forte. His girlfriend, apparently possessed of considerably more survival instincts than romantic inclinations, eventually decided that living with a 500-pound man with anger management issues wasn't the fairy tale she'd signed up for. She took their son and disappeared into the night, leaving Joe with nothing but an empty house and a rapidly growing list of grievances against the world. Now, most people might respond to such a setback by perhaps seeking therapy, joining a support group, or at the very least drowning their sorrows in ice cream like normal human beings. Joe, however, had a rather more creative approach to dealing with abandonment issues. He became convinced that his ex-girlfriend was living somewhere under the Hanover Street Bridge in Baltimore, among the homeless community that had set up camp in the area. Armed with nothing but rage and a disturbing lack of social boundaries, Joe began what he called his search mission. This is where our story takes a sharp left turn into territory that even the most imaginative horror writers might find a bit extreme. Joe didn't just go looking for his ex-girlfriend, he went hunting. And when I say hunting, I mean that in the most literal, predatory sense of the word. His first victim was a homeless man who had the misfortune of crossing paths with Joe during one of these search missions. The details of what happened next are too graphic for polite company. Let's just say that Joe's method of interrogation would have made medieval inquisitors uncomfortable. When the homeless man couldn't provide information about Joe's ex-girlfriend, which, let's be honest, was probably because he genuinely didn't know anything, Joe's response was swift and permanent. The man became the first entry in what would become a very short but very disturbing guest list to Joe's impromptu outdoor dinner parties.